Sarah Palin has awakened and energized the Republican base, but she's facing more intense scrutiny now. Will she continue to help Senator McCain gain the upper hand? Plus, the role religion and faith will play on November 4th. As well, I go one-on-one with New Mexico Governor and Obama supporter Bill Richardson. Back for the back half now on Race for the White House. I'm David Gregory. Happy to have you here. The latest numbers show the race is tightening up between these candidates. Governor Sarah Palin's entrance into the race has energized the Republican base. We've talked about that. But just how much of the McCain bounce is due to Governor Palin? And will they be able to keep the momentum going all the way to November? Joining me now to go inside the war room, two guests. Joe Scarborough, host of MSNBC's Morning Joe, working the evening shift for us tonight, and MSNBC political analyst Eugene Robinson. Gene, also a columnist and associate editor for the Washington Post. Joe, thanks for being here. First of all, let me show you a couple of polls out of the Midwest that are interesting. The Minnesota Star Tribune poll, Obama 45, McCain 45. A dead heat there in a state that I don't think Republicans would really think that McCain's going to be very competitive in. And then you look at Iowa. The Des Moines Register poll has Obama up pretty handsomely there, 12 points. That could be a key pickup for Obama over the 2004 map. How do you see the race rolling out right now, Joe, particularly with the impact of Sarah Palin?
Well, you know, as long as the Obama campaign or the Obama supporters continue talking about Sarah Palin, that is a loss for Barack Obama, a win for John McCain. If you look at the polls over the last 4 or 5 days, you do see Minnesota tightening up. You see Ohio actually breaking John McCain's way. 3 polls have come out since Friday. All of them have McCain 4 or 5 points ahead. Missouri seems to be going McCain's way, 4 or 5 points. Florida getting comfortably in the McCain camp. Right. So it's a big win for McCain. But like you said, Iowa breaks Obama's way. Washington and Oregon breaking Obama's way. What we're looking at here is the map breaking up into this red state, blue state divide. And I don't think Barack Obama or John McCain are going to make significant gains over what their party did in 2004 or 2000.
Gene, let's look at the electoral map, this battleground map. First, look at it from last week, and look who had the advantage there. Obama over McCain in terms of likely and lean. But what's changed as we look at the new map is that Florida now moves to McCain, according to our political unit, and New Mexico moves pretty comfortably to Obama. If that's the case, you have a couple of factors, Gene. One is that Obama has been spending a lot of money in Florida without much effect at this stage, though they're going to keep the ground game operating there. New Mexico is one of those states that if they can get New Mexico and Iowa into the Democratic column, he doesn't get to 270, but it gets him a lot closer.
It does get him closer. The Obama people have always talked about redrawing the map and going after states that are not traditionally thought of as Democratic states. You saw that the Colorado is a toss-up still. Colorado has been thought of as a pretty solidly Republican state. The Obama people think they can take it. But I do agree with Joe that the Obama people have to. Something is not clicking quite the way they would like it with the message. Maybe it's the economy after the events today, and maybe they can hone an economic message that will start moving the needle. Right. You can't write off Ohio. You can't do it.
Let's talk about Sarah Palin, Joe. And today at a rally in Golden, Colorado, she played up her hometown appeal, taking a pretty subtle swipe here at the media as well. Take a look.
It's no secret that I'm not part of that Washington elite. You probably got a little hint of that reading stories in the press lately. I'm just not a part of that.
We've seen this arc, Joe. We've seen the arc of her support. Where there's been kind of a cult of personality around her. She clearly connects. She's energizing the Republican base. Is there going to be a settling out for her where she's certainly going to get more scrutiny? Her record, her decision-making, her knowledge of the world and domestic affairs, what kind of decision-maker she would be. How does that affect her?
No.
No is the answer.
No. You know what? If Barack Obama is lucky, No. So I heard Paul Bubble this past weekend saying, for God's sake, stop talking about Sarah Palin. It doesn't matter whether you beat her or not. And I was laughing listening to Sarah Palin because I think if I were a Democrat like Bubble or Carville and knew how to win in swing states, I would consider jumping off a bridge right now because this past weekend the media has called Sarah Palin ignorant. Today it was Eliza Doolittle. Joe Biden was introduced in a rally with an Obama supporter calling her a bucket of fluff. They need to leave her alone. What happens, David, is when they attack her, when they vilify her, it's the Obi-Wan Kenobi theory in politics. When they strike her down, when the mainstream media strikes her down, they only make her stronger. Leave her alone. There is so much to attack John McCain and the Republican Party over these past 8 years. They need to leave her alone. That's in the best interest of Barack Obama.
Gene, playing the hometown girl has left Palin open for attacks on experience. That's obviously happened. An opening which Tina Fey and Amy Poehler took full advantage of on SNL, the premiere last night. Let's watch, and I have a question about it.
You know, Hillary and I don't agree on everything.
I believe that diplomacy should be the cornerstone of any foreign policy.
And I can see Russia from my house.
Quick comment, though, Gene, and I think Joe alludes to this. You know, a lot of people, a lot of critics, a lot of Democrats comforted themselves thinking that George W. Bush wasn't experienced. George W. Bush, a lot of them felt wasn't very bright. And guess what? He won, and he won again. Exactly. Is there a danger for the opposition here, as Joe suggests?
Well, look, it would be insane for the Obama campaign to underestimate that sort of, like to have a beer with that guy or gal factor in American politics, and to underestimate the kind of popular appeal that Sarah Palin has. But look, the Democrats can't do anything about the fact that we in the elite media are going to be finding out about Sarah Palin and finding out about her record. It's kind of our job. So more stuff will come out. I do think that Joe is right, though, that the Democrats really should focus on the economy. After today, I would do that, like a laser beam.
And David, if I could just briefly say that the Democrats make the same mistake. Some of their activists make the same mistake. Think about it. In 2000, George Bush was too dumb to be elected president. In 2004, he was too dumb. In 1980, go back and look at the skits about Ronald Reagan on Saturday Night Live, and even that show Fridays that was on for a while. Reagan was too stupid to be in the White House. He beat them. Then go all the way back to Dwight Eisenhower in 52 and 56. He was a dope, a guy that hobbled around on the golf course, was disconnected, didn't know what he was doing. You're exactly right. Democratic activists comfort themselves every 4 years saying their opponent is too dumb, too stupid, not sophisticated enough to be commander-in-chief. And every 4 years, it seems, they lose. It is a losing tactic.
All right, we're going to leave it there. Thanks very much. Morning, Joe Scarborough, Gene Robinson.